Hey everyone, this is Mr. J again, and I wanted to share my thoughts on the situation with Minneapolis. Now, for any of you who haven't been watching the news lately, there was a black man named George Floyd who died while a group of police officers were trying to arrest him for allegedly using a fake $20 bill. One officer was even shown having his knee on top of Floyd's neck. To make matters worse, Floyd was recorded saying, "I can't breathe," before he died. Now, as of recently, all four officers involved in the incident have been fired, and the officer who had his knee on the man's neck, former officer Derek Chauvin, was charged with both third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. In addition, there's evidence to suggest that Floyd and the accused officer may have worked together as security for a local bar. However, it's unconfirmed if they had ever been in contact with each other in any way, shape, or form. Now, the thing is that because of this incident, the Black Lives Matter movement have brought in their own people, and they've been burning, looting, and destroying the city. Now, it goes without saying that what these people are doing is not only hurting the community, but it's also desecrating the memory of George Floyd. George was a man who was dedicated to both his community and his church family. He worked to prevent young black men from joining gangs and becoming criminals. And with that in mind, I don't think he'd like what's been going on with all the riots, with all this looting businesses and burning down what's left of them. How will people work if they have no place to actually do that? How will they feed their families if they can't work? How will people from these low-income neighborhoods buy food and supplies if it's all been burnt to a crisp? What the BLM and the rioters have done is not only spit on George's legacy, but their actions are actively harming the community that he worked so hard to lift up. Now, do I want there to be justice? Yes, I do. I want to see the officer responsible have a fair trial, and if he did purposefully murder George Floyd with intent, then he deserves to be locked up. However, George's death is no reason to go around destroying the livelihood of others in the community, especially when they weren't even involved in the first place. George Floyd and his family deserve justice, but it needs to be done the right way. Civil protests will have more of an impact than rioting and looting, and we need to take that step forward. These rioters need to be held accountable for the damage that they've caused, not only for the financial impact, but for the impact that it's done to the Minneapolis community, including George's own family. Most people are willing to have civil protests without them turning into riots. The problem is when groups like the BLM bring in their own people and set them loose to destroy, especially when these sympathetic Democrat mayors and governors let them. Being upset or suffering injustice is no excuse for bringing out your own brand of mob justice. This isn't justice. It isn't even vigilantism. It's just an excuse that they're using to justify looting and pillaging. George Floyd would never have wanted this, and this is shown by a past clip of him denouncing gang culture. The BLM is hardly more than an organized gang. All they have is a violent political agenda that they use to justify what they do. At least the other gangs don't do all these atrocities and then call it justice for the next dead black person that they can use as an excuse to do as they please. George Floyd would never have wanted any of this to happen. I'll leave a link to his video in the description if you want to watch it yourself. Anyway, I'm Mr. J, and I hope you all stay safe. Take care, and may God bless you all. Thank you.